The Tax Reconciliation Act was signed into law by President Trump on December 22nd. Folks are worried what that means for health reform's individual mandate. I'm Bryn McBride of ABC for Health. The biggest question that everybody's been wondering is, did this new GOP tax bill, did it repeal the Affordable Care Act? The answer? No. Did it repeal the individual mandate, the statement that said that everybody has to have insurance or pay a penalty? No. So what exactly did it do, and why are people saying the individual mandate has disappeared? The tax bill had language in it, a lot of language in it. Not all of it is understood at this point until we get a lot more rulemaking and some guidance coming out of the feds. But the language that is in there does not repeal the individual mandate. It repeals the individual mandate penalty. So folks, still on the books, it still says you have to have insurance, either through Medicaid, Medicare, a private insurance plan, employer-sponsored insurance. But the language of the new tax bill essentially zeroes out the dollar and percentage of income penalties imposed by the mandates. So this is one of the things that folks are going to be remembering is, hey, there's no penalty for not having insurance like we've seen in the past. But also you have to pay attention to the effective date. It says in the language of the bill that the penalty for not having insurance becomes effective for 2019. So folks that do not have health insurance for 2018 will still be paying a penalty on 2019. The folks that do not have insurance for 2019, they may not see a penalty when they file their taxes in 2020. So we're going to see a lot of surprised people filing their taxes in 2018 and in 2019, thinking that penalty has gone away, and yet the effective date tells us that that penalty is around for at least 2 more tax years. Now, the penalty is supposed to disappear when filing taxes in 2020, but yet we still have to see some guidance and regulations coming through on the logistics of how this is going to work with the IRS. Now, federal law still requires an individual to have minimum essential coverage. Not repealing the individual mandate language is important. It leaves a lot of things intact, like minimum essential coverage language, definitions of modified adjusted gross income, employer-sponsored plans, all are still in there. If all of the wording of the individual mandate were to disappear, we would have seen these other terms disappear as well. Instead, just the penalty language is what's repealed, and these other terms are still in there. And that's important because that's where we get a lot of protections. Federal law still requires anyone who provides minimum essential coverage to file IRS reports or be penalized. So this means employers who are required to cover employees still have to file their IRS reports, or employers could be penalized for not providing that coverage. So the impact of this GOP tax bill in a nutshell: the ACA will continue. Medicaid expansion will continue. Marketplaces continue. Tax credits continue. And no discrimination against those with pre-existing conditions will continue. We have intact a lot of the consumer protections that were in the Affordable Care Act to continue. Does that mean there's going to be no harm, no foul because of this tax bill? No, there is first and foremost going to be confusion. There will be people that are surprised that they owe a penalty come tax time. There will also be people that are surprised that they see their premiums going up. When you see people down the road seeing that they won't have to pay a penalty for not having insurance, you will see more people not having insurance. So the little bit longer term consequences of this will mean fewer people are in that risk pool, and insurers are going to compensate by raising rates. And there are some predictions already of what this is going to look like. Early predictions are saying some of the smaller insurers might actually leave the marketplace. Premiums will go up a pretty solid percentage, and you'll see about 3 to 5 million people losing coverage by 2017 because of this decision. So we're trying to help myth bust a little bit about what actually is the language in there, what it actually means, and some of the protections that were left intact, so folks can feel a little bit more comfortable moving forward and not be surprised. You can share your healthcare story or ask us a question about this or other healthcare coverage topics, and you can do it at healthwatchwisconsin.org. Thanks for joining us.